Tekken. A fighting game that I never really expected I would end up enjoying. But overall, it was really a part of my childhood when I had a PS1. I will never forget having a PS1, and one of the games we had was Tekken. I can't remember how we got it, but it was definitely a part of our collection. Tekken 3 was was the first Tekken game I ever played. I didn't play Tekken 1 or Tekken 2. Tekken 3 was the one we had. Tekken 3 has always been regarded as one of the greatest Tekken games of all time. And so, in this video, I'm going to give you guys my history on Tekken. My history of Tekken begins in Tekken 3. As I said, I never owned Tekken 1 or Tekken 2. Tekken 3 was the first Tekken game I ever owned. And so, my experience with Tekken as a kid was actually really good. My favorite characters in the Tekken 3 game was Forest Law, Jin Kazama, and Yoshimitsu. These are my three favorite characters to play as in that game, because obviously, as you guys know, in the newer Tekken games, martial law is kind of my go-to. But overall, the Tekken 3 story was just basically the King of Iron Fist tournament. The main villain, Ogre, appeared. Heihachi started up a tournament just to see who could fight Ogre, which, shockingly, Paul Phoenix was the one that actually won the whole tournament, but he was never really acknowledged as the winner because Jin Kazama at one point came back and he defeated Ogre, because Ogre ended up killing Jin's mother, Jun, and the original king. Now, I didn't know the original king died, and I didn't know the king that is in Tekken nowadays is a completely different king. I thought that was the exact same king in Tekken 3. So I didn't know King actually died in Tekken 3, but now it's nice to know that I know. And so Jin basically defeated Ogre to avenge his mother. And then so through this point, I'm going to be skipping over Tekken 4 because I didn't play Tekken 4. The next Tekken game I wouldn't play was until the PS2, Tekken 5. And in my opinion, Tekken 5 is one of the best Tekken games I think I have ever played. It was definitely great. It's definitely up there with Tekken 3 as one of the best. I very much enjoyed the gameplay in Tekken 5. And also, well, I can't tell you that I really hated Jinpachi Mishima as the final boss. But Tekken 5 was good for different reasons. It was good for majority of different reasons. The biggest reasons why it was actually really good is because it had a different mode. It had a Devil Within mode in Tekken. It had a new mode in Tekken where you could play as Jin Kazama in a 3D platformer, which was kind of interesting. And also, Tekken 5 had a really interesting arcade mode where you could go back and revisit Tekken 1, Tekken 2, and Tekken 3. So you could pretty much say Tekken 5 was my way of going back to Tekken 3, even though I never played Tekken 1 and 2. So Tekken 5 technically introduced me to Tekken 1 and Tekken 2. I spent a lot more time and spent more hours into Tekken 5, mainly because, well, I enjoyed playing that one a whole lot more than Tekken 3. Well, Tekken 3, I did unlock everybody. I didn't put all the time and effort into it like I did with Tekken 5. Tekken 5 was by far one of my favorite games of the series, and of course, martial law being my main character, my go-to guy. Because I really didn't like what they did to Jin and Yoshimitsu in those games. Because Jin Kazama didn't have the Mishima style. And also, this was the game where I saw Kazuya Mishima for the first time. So, and obviously I didn't know Kazuya so I obviously didn't know Kazuya had been around from the very beginning. Because again, I didn't play Tekken 1 or Tekken 2. And also, Kazuya wasn't in Tekken 3 because he was presumed dead after Tekken 2. And he came back in Tekken 4, which again, I did not play. So technically, this was my first time seeing Kazuya, but now I know the whole history. He's been around since the very beginning. And he was the one that had the whole devil gene. And that's why Jin Kazama could become a devil. Because I later learned that Kazuya is actually the father of Jin, and he married Jun Kazama in Tekken 2, which now I understand why Jin Kazama really doesn't like his dad very much. And that's the whole thing about these Tekken games. Like, the freaking Mishima family was the most freaking hateful family. Like, they just hated everybody in their family, which was so bizarrely weird. But I'll get into that when I talk about Tekken 7. So, yeah, when it came to Tekken 5, I put more time and effort into this one. I wanted to actually do everything possible. Beat the Devil Within story mode, which I didn't, unfortunately. I even did the treasure mode in Tekken 5, getting as high as possible. And more importantly, I wanted to complete everyone's arcade mode. I wanted to play through all the characters' arcade modes. And that's when I grew to appreciate some new characters, like Lee Chaolon and Steve Fox. Certain other characters became a bit more fun to play as, but there were some difficult ones in there, like Julia Chan, Yoshimitsu, and several others. Not being able to master every single character's moveset can be a really big problem, especially when it comes to trying to unlock every single ending. And so, during one of my times, I got a game over because I was so angry that Jinpachi just kept owning me. I actually unlocked Jinpachi's ending, which I did not know you could actually get. Yeah, because I decided to give up because I just couldn't beat him with the character I was playing as. Which, that was, by the way, Yoshimitsu. You might have thought it might have been Julia Chang, but surprisingly, I did beat him with her. It was hard as hell, but I did do it. And I also think Tekken 5 was the last game Mokujin was a playable character, because I haven't seen Mokujin around in quite some time as well. But yeah, Tekken 5, absolutely one of my favorite games. And then we move on to Tekken 6. And this is where Jin Kazama kind of becomes a bad guy. He kind of becomes a heel. He was painted as like the heroic good guy of Tekken, but then he becomes a bad guy. Now he's turned heel. He's now a bad guy. He's against Heihachi. He's against his dad. He's now evil or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But then they introduced a new main character, Lars Alexanderson, who ends up becoming another child of Heihachi. You know, I don't understand how many damn kids Heihachi has. Because seriously, we knew about Kazuya being his son. Then we hear Lars is now his son, or adopted son, or biological son. And then we hear Lee Chaolon was also a part of the Mishima family, being the adopted son of Heihachi, because Heihachi wanted to use him as competition for Kazuya. So, and a part of me just goes, how many damn children does this guy have? Like, seriously, it's legitimately nuts. And also, Tekken 5 was when we now, again, she could have been in Tekken 4, but Tekken 5 was also the first game I saw Asuka Kazama, Jin's sister. So again, she could have been in Tekken 4, but again, I didn't see her. But again, this Tekken 5 was the first time I saw her. And also in Tekken 6, we also saw the debut of another new character who's kind of become another one of my main faves. That being the French girl, Lily. She made her debut in the 6th game of Tekken. And I later learned that she actually did not debut in Tekken 6. She debuted in another version of Tekken 5, which I didn't know. When I read her story dialogue in Tekken 6, saying she was a part of the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 5, my brain was like, what? I've played Tekken 5 and she was not in that. So, I don't know. So I was genuinely confused. I was like, I thought to myself, wait, was there another character I never unlocked in Tekken 5? So I was mind blown that she actually debuted in Tekken 5. I now later learned it's a different version of Tekken 5 called Dark Resurrection, I think. But I was mind blown when I found out she was actually in Tekken 5, just a completely different version of it. And I later found out that Jinpachi was a playable character in that other version of Tekken 5. So Lily and Jinpachi couldn't even make it onto the PS2 version, which was so bizarrely weird, but regardless. Tekken 6 went with a different approach. They went with a different story mode aspect, like you're playing as Lars Alexanderson and his new ally, Elisa Bonskonovich, the daughter of Dr. Bonskonovich. I think that's who she is. But I thought it was fine. I thought Tekken 6 was still good. A lot of people didn't really like Tekken 6. I mean, I guess I can understand why opinions can be respected, but I generally enjoyed Tekken 6. And now let's get to Tekken 7. Let's get to Tekken 7. Now, I may not have played Tekken 8 yet, because it's on the PS5, but I do know the story. But I do know the story of Tekken 8, because I saw the story mode cutscenes on YouTube. Tekken 7 went in a completely different direction with the Mishima story. Basically us going over the whole Kazuya Heihachi relationship, why Kazuya hates his dad Heihachi. Heihachi had a wife named Kazumi. She had a devil form. Heihachi kills his wife because she had a devil form and he was threatened by her. He tried to kill his son. He hated his grandkids being Jin, and they try to build the story as if Heihachi is the main character of it. Like, Heihachi's the main character. And I don't know why, but he's been the villain in all the Tekken games. I don't know why they were trying to make us... this is just how I saw it. They were trying to make you feel sorry for Heihachi, that he has a dysfunctional family. But I don't feel sorry for him. He killed his wife. He was abusive to his kids. He was abusive to his kid and his grandson. Like, hey, so I don't understand why. So this whole story was so confusing. Like, the Mishima family are considered bad guys. Kazuya is considered a bad guy as well. So again, I really didn't know who I was supposed to be rooting for in this whole scenario between these two, because both of them are assholes. And again, Heihachi, again, has so many damn kids, as I mentioned already. It's just, how much time did he have with Kazumi to have all these kids? It's literally making me question stuff. But, and the whole story of Tekken 7 was that, you know, Kazuya was trying to get revenge on his dad, which he does. He gets revenge on his dad. He finally kills his dad Heihachi, and that should be the end of it, right? Heihachi's now dead and we never see him again, and he never comes back in any Tekken game going forward. Kazuya finally does the one thing he wanted to do, and that was to get rid of his dad. Unfortunately, Tekken 8 destroys that and ruins it, and that's kind of why I wanted to get into Tekken 8. Because despite the fact I haven't played it, I know the storyline. I've seen the story. I am not a fan. I mean, I will say I do like this story more than Tekken 7's. Because in Tekken 8, they finally get Jin on his redemption arc. They have Jin Kazama go on his redemption arc. As I said, he was a villain in majority of the other games because he ended up becoming a bad guy. But then by Tekken 8, he finally reverts back to being a good guy. He reverts back to being the conquering hero that he was always destined to be. And then we learn that his mother, Jun, he really loves his mother, Jun. And he really loves his mother, Jun, because, again, Jun was the only person in his family he liked. Because his mother was nice to him and respected him. So, in Tekken 8, Jin gets a brand new transformation to take down Kazuya's devil form, but Jin does not kill Kazuya. He beats him, but he does not kill him. And in Tekken 8, they reveal a new character who is the daughter of Heihachi, Rihanna Mishima. And a part of me says it again. How many damn kids does this Heihachi guy have? It's ridiculous. How many damn kids this guy has? Oh, and remember how I told you that Kazuya finally killed his dad, Heihachi? Well, according to Tekken 8's DLC story mode, Heihachi is still alive. He did not die. He was saved by somebody as he was being thrown into a ravine. Heihachi suffers from amnesia because he doesn't remember everything. One of the newer characters, Linda, I'm not sure how you say her name, who is the president of a certain country, and she works alongside Eddie Gordo and several other people to find out that Heihachi is now on the good side. Oh, he's a good guy now. But psych, he's still a bad guy. He ends up remembering, and he's got all his memories back. Heihachi's back as a villain. I do not understand this. The whole point of the Tekken 7 storyline was to finally have Kazuya get revenge on his dad, but instead, he is still alive. So yeah, I feel like Tekken 8, especially with the Heihachi story, I felt like it really destroyed the whole purpose of Tekken 7's storyline. But, you know, I guess you just can't kill off a fan favorite character like Heihachi, I guess. But yeah, that's my history of Tekken. And honestly, guys, if I ever do get Tekken 8, I have to get a PS5 in order to do that. I'll be more than happy to do the story mode and even play the game as well. So, again, that's going to be the end of this little wrap-up video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.